Hello and welcome back. This is Beautiful Ashes, and I'm your host, Ton. And still on the topic of finding your audience. Now, the previous episode, we talked about how it's important to find people who actually align with the kind of vision and the kind of values that you stand for as well. And so, in the past episodes, the past two episodes should be episodes about audiences. And so, we're still on the topic on audiences nonetheless. Now, I'm sorry, I seem to have a cold. Now, still on the issue of finding your audiences. Now, in this episode, we're going to go a bit deeper when it comes to finding your audiences. And to actually understand this, we're going to go back a few episodes ago where we talked about how to actually discover your marketplace or the market. If you haven't already watched that episode, I highly recommend that you pause this one and actually watch it. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what we talked about in this episode, or in that episode, and in this episode, because it's very important to actually get to where I'm trying to go with this episode. Now, in the previous episode that is called Finding Your Market, one of the things we discussed there is you start in this kind of big kind of a niche, and then you actually laser focus into what exactly you want to do inside of this niche. So if you, for instance, you can be a video editor, or you can say, okay, so I want to do video editing. So you decide to do video editing. And then instead of video editing, you discover, okay, so you can be doing music videos, you can be doing film, you can actually be doing film editing, you can actually be doing VFX editing, um, you can actually be doing what else? Drone footage editing. Instead of this, so you can actually decide to actually specialize inside of it. And then if you go deeper, for instance, you decide to do film editing, you can actually decide to be doing short plays, for instance, or short movies, for instance, or you can actually be a video editor that is doing film editing for wedding events, specifically for wedding events, and that kind of thing. So you have a general idea of what I'm saying, yeah. And the reason why I brought this up is one of the ways you can find your audience is number one, you start off as a generalist. That is, in the case of a video editor, you start off as a general video editor. And this one will allow you, first of all, to actually find your market. So you decide, maybe I'm going to become a video editor and I'm going to be doing specifically video editing for weddings, or become a wedding video editor, okay? Or I'm going to become a film editor. And instead of film editing, you can decide to actually focus on weddings, specifically weddings and other events like birthday parties and baby showers and that kind of thing. Okay, so when you decide to do that, guess what? Before you get to that point, you'll actually have been able. So there you find kind of now just to pause on that one a bit. So in that moment, you actually discover what you yourself like, and so you discover, okay, so I like working on wedding footage and wedding film. Okay, so you decide to become a wedding video editor. Okay, so when you're doing that, guess what? You actually come back there and actually realize, okay, so while I'm still doing this video editing thing, I work with a variety of clients. I work with drone experts. I work with film actors. I work with the short plays, people who create short plays and whatnot. And so inside of that, you discover, okay, so I enjoy working with this particular type of person. And so maybe for you can be like, you enjoy doing traditional weddings. So when it comes to weddings, you actually focus on actually doing like tribal specific kind of weddings. So traditional weddings whereby they involve, like the Kikuyu tradition, and whereby you actually follow somebody through the whole process from the ratio. If you're a Kikuyu, you have like the ratio part, and then from then on you actually move on to other things. So each and every single stage of the wedding, you actually part in the present that you can actually tell this kind of a story, and you can even be able to actually follow them on dates and all, and create this kind of a picture or tell this kind of a story using your film and actually edit those kind of videos. And so you might find yourself you enjoy working with who actually do traditional weddings. That way you can be able to capture the culture and even the different steps there. In that way you can educate people as well. And so that sort of thing. And so you might enjoy working with wedding who are actually doing with the weddings, or you can actually decide you actually enjoy working with the wedding planners. And so you decide instead of actually working with the couple, that is a groom and the bride, you actually decide that, oh, wait, I enjoy working with the wedding planners. If you actually focus on actually just working with wedding planners and actually, you accompany them even throughout the process, whereby you can document the entire process of actually getting the wedding sorted out and everything else. And so it is only during this phase whereby you're learning and you're actually working on the job, and then you're interacting with all these different types of clients, that you can actually be able to find out the people that you enjoy or you find the most fulfillment working with. And so in that moment, you actually have an idea of who your audience is. I'll give you that an example for myself. So I started off as an article writer, as a content before I became a content creator, so to speak. But I started off as an article writer. That was about 7 years ago. And in that time, I worked on a variety of different types of content. So if you had anything about affiliate marketing, I've done that. SEO for like local businesses, I've done that. Copywriting for landing pages, I've done that. Sales pages, sales, pitching proposals, resumes. I've done all of these things, all of these different things. However, I discovered that I enjoy more copywriting and sales focused kind of copy, or creating or writing for, writing the types of articles that actually geared towards making sales. I'll talk about copywriting a bit later on. It's not the focus here, but it was something that you'll have to have a basic idea on what to do, what it entails. But anyway, so I found out that I enjoy copywriting more than compared to these other avenues or these other channels of writing. And in that, when I was doing that as a copywriter, what else is I discovered is I enjoyed working more with info products and service based businesses like freelancers, info product, that is consultants, coaching, and so digital products instead of physical products. And so that's kind of the area that I enjoy working with. And even then, you find that there are different kinds of people. There are people who are focused on money, like we said in the previous episode. And there are people who actually focus on adding value and providing a positive impact. And so the whole idea of this audience series is actually to help you narrow down on the people you're called to serve and how best you can serve them and how you can find them. And so for this episode, if you don't already have a job, if you don't already have something that you're doing, I highly recommend, if you decided to become a fitness expert, go and volunteer to a gym somewhere and actually learn about working out and fitness and whatnot. And as you go there, guess what? You're going to interact with all these different kinds of people. You're actually going to discover, number one, the things that you like. So if you know you're going to be into fitness, for instance, you said, okay, so my path in this world is I'm going to be teaching people how to lose weight or actually to become in the best shape of their lives. Okay, great. Okay, so you decided the fitness route. Now, in the fitness route, there's different kinds of areas. You've got bodybuilding, you've got aerobics, you've got yoga, you've got meditation, and all these other things inside of fitness. And then you decide, okay, so I like aerobics a lot more than I do like bodybuilding, or I like bodybuilding more than I do aerobics, and whatever. And so you decide to go, if it's bodybuilding, you decide, okay, I like bodybuilding, but for what purpose? Is it for competitions? No, maybe like for giving people that fit kind of body or beach body, transforming people to becoming having a beach body, that kind of thing. Okay, so you discover, okay, so I like to focus on fitness, specifically bodybuilding, and getting people to the best shape of their lives, like getting a beach body, or like a figure that is good enough to get taken photos or to get ticket photos. Okay, sorry about that, but to get them in the best shape of their lives and actually take photos for Instagram or whatever. Okay, so you said that's the area that you're going to focus on. And then even as you do that, guess what? You actually interact with all these different kinds of people. So you discover, okay, so there's moms, there is dads, there's singles people, there's the young people who are between ages of 20, early 20s, those who are late 20s, those who are married, those who are single. But then you discover out of all these kind of groups of people, you like working more with single moms, for instance, if you're a woman, or you're trying to work with moms who have had a few kids and are trying to get back. They're trying to recover their young kind of body. They try to recover their body before they got kids. And so maybe you discover that working with this kind of group of people actually helps you. You should get the most amount of fulfillment and satisfaction working with this kind of people. And so you decide from then on, okay, so as you continue to interact with them, guess what? You actually get to know their problems. You actually get to know the things that they're worried about. Maybe they'll tell you, like, they don't believe that they can actually go back to that kind of a body. Maybe they'll tell you that they become too big. Maybe the husband doesn't love them anymore because they've added this amount of weight. Maybe they'll tell you that the clothes, they can't even fit in the clothes that they want to fit in. Maybe they'll tell you that they want to go back to that place, or when they can get back into the wedding dress. But so all of these things what is happening here is they're trying to explain to you the symptoms that they're experiencing right now, and it is through these symptoms that you can be able to connect with them and actually be able to help them. Because guess what? You're actually going to come from a place whereby you understand what they're going through. You understand the pain of actually having to wear some trousers and you can actually close the zipper because you've gained so many weight. Or you actually have, if it is for dads, for instance, maybe you have that favorite coat. Maybe your clients have that favorite coat that they love to wear. But unfortunately, because over the years, they added weight, they become a dad, they don't have time for working out and whatnot, and they have a pot belly and whatnot. And now they can't wear that favorite coat again. And so being able to connect with them at that level allows them to feel understood by you, allows you and them to actually connect. And that way you can be able to serve them at the best level. And when they know that you actually care about them because you know what they're going through and you actually understand what they're going through, they're going to be more inclined to actually pay attention to you and actually follow through even as you try to help them. And guess what? When you see them go through that journey, maybe a year from now, 2 years from now, and they actually regain that body, and you can actually see the smile on their faces and how happy they are because of being able to actually regain that kind of body that they had, that's going to be worth it. And so that's the whole idea here. And so if you don't know who your audience is, one way is actually volunteering somewhere in an industry where you're already chosen. And then from then on, just working there for a couple of months or a couple of weeks, or however long it takes you, and actually interacting with different kinds of people And then from that kind of batch of people, you go to isolate the kind of people that you're called to serve, or the kind of people that actually give you the most satisfaction when you're serving. So that's it for this episode. And yeah, I know I'm starting a bit off, but anyway, yeah, so that's it for this episode. Let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. And as always, be sure to hit the like, share, subscribe button. I'm always eager to hear from you guys, and to hear if you guys actually benefit from this kind of content and I should continue or not. Okay, so that's it for this episode. Thank you so much, and as always, bye.